Take a break from the city and here you will find a lush green oasis to help calm your mind. With rolling lawns and gigantic old trees, the haven of space for birds, squirrels and bees. When a week of toil makes my soul start to harden, I will gather my thoughts in the peace of a garden. Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm Claire from The Wanderlust Way. Still in Sheffield, today's video will be somewhat soothing for the soul as we move away from the hard industry that we focused on in the past couple of videos and finish this collection with a leisurely wander around the Sheffield Botanical Gardens. Opened in 1836, this 19-acre space is owned by the Town Trust and registered by Historic England as a Grade 2 site of special historic and architectural interest. We're going to walk through some key areas and delve into how these botanical gardens came to be. We're also going to mention some very exciting filming that took place here recently and how you might expect to see the gardens on your television screens very soon. So please sit back, relax and enjoy the video. If you do enjoy it, please hit the like button so we know it's been good and stay to the end of the video to see where we'll be heading next week. Sheffield Botanical Gardens. Located 1.5 miles to the southwest of Sheffield city centre in South Yorkshire, England, you can find these beautiful botanical gardens. A 19-acre landscape which is open free to the public almost every day of the year. Having won a number of impressive awards including RHS Yorkshire in Bloom and the Green Flag Award, it contains a huge variety of plants, both native and exotic. Even if you are not a gardener, it's hard not to be in awe of this beautiful place. As you may have seen on some of my last videos, Sheffield played a key role in the Industrial Revolution, winning it the title of the Steel City. Dotted around were a number of mills and hamlets, each offering busy employment to hard-working men and women. With an industry that was booming, work life could be tough, dangerous and exhausting. The Botanical Gardens, therefore, were designed to offer respite after all that toil, an open green space where the workers on industrial sites could escape, a tonic and stark contrast from the daily grind. For this reason, the gardens were viewed by many as the lungs of the city. Today it is the home of over 5,500 species and is grouped into 13 different areas, each with a different geographical, horticultural or botanical theme. The jewel in the crown is the stunning Grade 2 listed range of glass pavilions. With an internal design that is based on Victorian ideas, it houses tender plants from the temperate regions of the world. At some time, the central dome has housed a range of tropical plants, including date palm, papyrus, sugarcane, coffee, cinnamon and bananas. Today, the gardens are managed by Sheffield City Council Parks and Countryside Service and are supported by Sheffield Botanical Gardens Trust and the Friends of Sheffield Botanical Gardens. But the story of how it all started is an interesting one indeed. In the year 1883, during the peak of the Industrial Revolution, a formal yet public meeting took place to discuss the needs of the city. It was during this meeting a decision was made to establish a botanical and horticultural garden in Sheffield. 24 gentlemen formed a committee and together their role was to begin by selecting a suitable site and making a framework of a society, to include rules and codes of conduct. Shares in the project were available at a purchase price of £20 each, which is around £3,000 in today's money. Enough funds were raised and the committee went on to purchase 18 acres of south-facing farmland from the Wilson family. This well-known family to the area are now based at Sharrow Mills and have been manufacturing snuff tobacco since 1737. Once the sale was complete, it was time to lay the foundations of this project. The society decided to take an interesting approach and an exciting competition was initiated for gardeners far and wide to submit their plans. The competition was to be judged by a number of expert garden designers, including the popular Joseph Paxton, who was at the time the head gardener at Chatsworth. There is no doubt that this was an exciting and bustling time and an incredible opportunity for one ambitious garden designer to snatch up the prize of the year. Like modern day competitions, plans were submitted and studied over, but in the end there could only be one winner. Robert Marnock was that winner. He was the head gardener at Bretton Hall, now known as the Yorkshire Sculpture Park. Do visit our main channel page if you'd like to see a walk round the Yorkshire Sculpture Park, as we visited here at the beginning of summer. Marnock's design was picked from the rest and he was appointed the first curator and instructed to lay out the gardens here at Sheffield. Runner-up was Benjamin Broomhood Taylor, who was subsequently appointed the architect for all the buildings on the site. Marnock's winning idea was to use scattered planting so that all trees, shrubs and plants be positioned and managed in a way that would display them to their fullest potential. Amongst connected winding paths, small landscapes were to be formed that created a beautiful contrast of mystery and variety. Island beds would feature with large expanses of grass intertwined with dappled shaded areas created by woodland trees and shrubs. A 4-tier fountain was to be the focal point at the southern end of the Broadwalk, an inviting passage that would lead the visitor down from the conservatories. Today the fountain is as glorious as ever and is surrounded by a welcoming seating area to relax and reflect. In 2023, the Sheffield Botanical Gardens is nurtured by a small team of gardeners who, with the support of many volunteers, help maintain and develop it. On entering through the main approach, visitors will be greeted by a large and spectacular entrance. The gatehouse is said to have been inspired by an Ionic temple on the river in Athens, and the buildings here were created with Derbyshire spar gritstone, hand-worked and tool-finished. The steps that lead us into the gardens are formed with green moor rock, which is a fine-grained sandstone. The curator's house, which was built for Robert Marnock back in 1836, has since been demolished, but was replaced around 1900. It is in the Victorian curator's house that you can find a delightful cafe, shop, toilets and bicycle stand. From this main entrance you will be welcomed by the Victorian garden, which we are told has been greeting visitors in the same manner since 1853. It is styled in a formal way and filled with colourful bedding plants. Dependent on the season, the gardeners here continue to fill it with Victorian-style planting whenever possible. Once Marnock and the team had finished the building of this garden, it was formally opened in 1836, at which time over 12,000 people visited. Admission at this point was limited to shareholders and subscribers, and only to the general public on special gala days for a small entrance fee. Marnock left in 1839 and was appointed curator of the Royal Botanical Society Garden in Regent's Park, London. In 1840, his work at Regent's Park led him to being recognised as one of the leading landscape gardeners of the age. Back in Sheffield, though, things were brewing. In 1898, the cost and upkeep of maintaining a garden of this magnitude was large. There was an ongoing worry that it would be sold to property developers, and so the Sheffield Town Trust, which is one of the oldest charities in the UK, bought this much treasured space and introduced free admission to all. This was a turning point, as it meant this remarkable and multifunctional garden was now able to give a setting for good health for everybody, regardless of wealth. In 1951, the Trust leased the gardens to the council, who took the responsibility to maintain them. 1984 saw the creation of the Friends of Botanical Gardens of Sheffield, and in 1996 the Sheffield Botanical Gardens Trust was established and formed as a registered charity to raise funds for restoration and ongoing maintenance. Today the Botanical Gardens devote their resources to the study and conservation of plants, as well as making the world's plant species diversity known to the public. A record is kept of all the trees, shrubs and other plants in the collection, and you can find these on their database. The 90-metre long glass-roofed pavilion is still a good place to wander, relax and admire the tropical plant varieties, including cacti, eucalyptus and banana. These conservatories, or pavilions, exist as a range of 3 domes linked by ridge and furrow sections. An imposing glass house, it remains a very important example of a curvilinear glass structure. It is inside this wonderful space you can go on a globe-trotting plant adventure through the Himalayas, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa and both South and Central America. Extensive nameplates both inside the tropical house and outside in the gardens give plant enthusiasts an opportunity to learn and fact-find. Step outside and explore the winding paths that will take you through over 18 different garden areas, based on geographical or botanical themes. It is a true hotbed for horticulture and culture in Sheffield. Here you can spend hours finding the Mediterranean garden, the Asian garden and the American borders, which are packed with examples from north and south of the United States. A Grade 2 listed bear pit can also be found, which once housed a black bear during the earlier years of the garden's menagerie existence. Relax by the rock and water garden features, which feature 3 interlinked ponds, all brimming with rock and water planting from around the world. One of the truly remarkable features of this garden can be found amongst the roses, for it is here that the Pan statue takes centre stage. Rising up from a huge range of rose beds and underplanted with herbaceous ground cover, you can marvel at its sight. A gift to the city by Sir Charles Clifford, it is said to represent the spirit of the wood. Sir Clifford was the proprietor of the Sheffield Telegraph and Star, and it was on his death in 1936 that the statue was kindly left to the garden. It measures around 2 metres high, and the likelihood is that it originates to around 1915. At the time of Sir Clifford's life, it was most probably stood in his own garden at Worlow. Although his will referred to it as the Peter Pan statue, it was almost certainly a statue of Pan, Greek god of pastures, flocks and woods, seated on a tree stump. Around the statue are an array of woodland creatures, including birds, rabbits, mice and frogs. It is a wonderful piece in the garden and well worth a visit. So, at the beginning of this video I mentioned there was recently some filming here. In April of this year, 2023, the gardens were closed to visitors as the filming cast, including Kate Winslet and Hugh Grant, were said to have been shooting for a brand new and hotly anticipated drama series called The Regime. Although it's still too early to see what scenes were filmed here at the Botanical Gardens and by whom, it is still impressive that it was chosen for the backdrop. I'm excited for its release. It's said to hit the screens in 2024, so you might want to look out for that one. If you're local, let us know in the comments any more information you have about that side of the story. Did you see them filming? Do you know which areas of the garden they used? Do tell. So that's it for this week. Please do hit the like and subscribe button, as next week we start to release our trip to Sedbergh, known famously in Cumbria as England's Book Town. Thanks to everyone for watching. Feel free to comment below with your thoughts or find us over on social media for behind the scenes photos. Also a special thanks to the Sheffield Botanical Gardens. Please find a link to their website in the description below. Have a great day and keep wanderlusting.